standing. Direct your attention to the flag and remove your hats for the playing of the national anthem. Enjoy the game and go Vikings! Fireworks sponsors brought to you by Deep South Fireworks, Cottle Chipping, Bugs One Stop, Owings Trucking, Baker Trucking, and Twin Oak Veneer. Thank you for your sponsorship of the fireworks. Also like to introduce and announce to you our sponsor for tonight's varsity matchup, Renovate Life, Church of God. Thank you for your sponsorship of Vinton County Viking football. Renovate Life. The Board of Education, Superintendent, Principal, and Athletic Council of Vinton County High School extend to each of you a cordial welcome, and we are pleased that you are here tonight. Athens High School and Vinton County High School are members of the Ohio High School Athletic Association and abide by high standards of conduct, competition, and relations with member schools. The athletes in this game are friendly rivals. While play may be fierce, all in attendance tonight are reminded that this is a game between youngsters and that sporting behavior is expected. The officials assigned to this game have been selected and assigned according to the procedures adopted by the Ohio High School Association and the Tri-Valley Conference. And they are referee Bernie Hensley, umpire Kenny Krebs, linesman Zach Gorby, line judge Brian Gordy, back judge Roger Springer, and Judge Craig Avery. Vinton County 2020 Vikings. Vikings record on the season is 3-1, and they begin the Tri-Valley Conference with a victory, so they're 1-0 in the Tri-Valley Conference.
Welcome everybody to Vinton County High School. You're live here on BMG Media as the Vinton County Vikings are set to take on the Athens Bulldogs. Nathan Lamier alongside my partner Brad Rose. We're up on top of the press box as the teams are taking the field now. We've got a couple minutes before kickoff in this one, Brad, as we are going to hear a word from our sponsors right now. Back here live on BMG Media. You have Nathan Lamb alongside my partner Brad Rose. And Brad, we have second week of TVC Ohio action for both of these teams. The Athens Bulldogs and the Vinton County Vikings both picked up big wins last week. The Vikings on the road at Meigs, a 54-0 win.
It's a big score.
And the Athens Bulldogs beat their county rival, the Alexander Spartans, 55-7.
A little surprising. I thought Alexander would really kind of hang in there with them.
Yeah, total domination, and if you look at the other team that won last week in the TVC Ohio, was Nelsonville York, and they also won 54-0 against River Valley. So the Buckeyes this week have the non-conference game. They played actually last night, so that way the Alexander Spartans can host Wellston at Nelsonville York because their field was resodded right before the season started. It's not quite ready. So they'll be playing over there. But tonight, one of these teams is going to take a step in the direction of a TVC Ohio contender. And one of these teams are going to take a step back in that race. Even the losing team tonight, still not out of it by any means, as it's only the second week of TVC Ohio play. But it's going to be...
It's going to be an uphill battle.
Right. And if you can start out 2-0.
Yeah, because these two teams include Nelsonville. That's your three front runners right now for the TVC championship.
Right.
And this right here is a de facto semi-game, final game. To one of us is going to play Nelsonville and have that opportunity to play for the TVC championship, in theory. You know, there's still a lot of games to be played with all 7 teams in the Ohio side, but right now these are the 3 that are still in play.
Right, so we're getting ready to kick off here. A little bit of wind tonight, Brad. A beautiful evening for football. As Habron's going to kick off for Vinton County. And it kicks away. It's a scoop kick down the middle, and it's fielded
Tricky bounce right
28,
there.
yeah. So the Bulldogs will have it at the 28-yard line.
Devin Barnes pick up the ball. The first down Athens on their 29-yard line.
Bulldogs, Braden Young at quarterback.
Very athletic kid.
And he's going to pitch to Pero around the left side. And be brought down after about a pickup of 3 yards. You're going to hear Alex Pero's name quite a bit tonight, Brad. Their starting running back. Only a junior, so we'll see him again next year. Had a really big game last week. He's put up some good numbers this year out of the backfield for the Bulldogs. And 4 wide receivers. Looking to pass this time, throws it short and slipping a tackle and picking up a first down was Martin.
Athens looking crisp right now. That 4 wide receiver set spreading the field with our defense is going to have a little bit of success tonight.
So the Bulldogs pick up a first down. First one of the night here. TVC Ohio action. Braden Young looking to the sideline for the play. Got a man in motion, going to hand it off. No, he's going to keep it up the middle. And picks up about 4 yards on the play. It's a nice fake. As Sutton was in motion. Positive yards.
Yeah, Young's a very athletic QB. You're going to see him roll out a lot and tuck the ball and run.
Young again with Para in the backfield. 3 wide receivers. Oh, that's a fake and a pass and open down the field.
Very fortunate
was
there.
Sutton.
Very
was
fortunate
just
there.
A bit overthrown, as that could have easily been a 55-yard touchdown pass, Brad.
Yeah, and a heck of a way to start the game if you're a Bulldog fan.
So now, as the Dogs have moved the ball fairly well, they're faced with a 3rd down and 6. Again, 4 wide receivers. We'll see if they go to something out in the flat. As they picked up the last first down.
That's where we need to see big Hunter Hoyt blow this play up.
And back to pass, hit as he throws, and it looked like the footsteps were heard as Lane Havern came in off the edge.
Yeah, it's a good call there by the coaches. Blitzing Lane there.
So now you are set to punt here for Athens as it's 4th down and 6.
Back to punt for the Bulldogs. Matt Hembry back to receive the punt.
So Bukowski takes the snap, kicks away, kicks a little to the right, short, bounces at the 31, and rolls to the 28-yard line. So Bulldogs started on their 28. First time they punt. The Vikings will start on their 28, and we'll see if they have something for this Bulldogs defense, who nearly pitched a shutout last week against Alexander. We talked about it, Brad, giving up 7 points. The only points scored by the losing team in the TVC Ohio last week was the Alexander Spartans, which is crazy to think in 3 games that you would have such lopsided games. But that just tells you those 3 teams are going to be the teams to beat this year. And these 2 face off tonight here as the Vikings will start with 10:26 to go in the first quarter, their first possession. Parker Schonborn sends Hembry in motion. They hand to Brown. Brown gets to about the 30-yard line before being tackled. Kaiser on the tackle there for the Bulldogs, and Brown picks up 2 yards. So it'll be 2nd down and 8 at the 30. Clock's rolling. Schonborn in the backfield. Brown, 2 wide receivers to the far side. And Parker's going to look that way. He's thinking about throwing. Now he's thinking about running. And he throws to Moeller, and it's picked off and ran out of bounds at the 41-yard line. That looked like...
Schonborn's pass intended.
Was that Wharton on the pick?
That
It's hard to see these gold numbers in the sunshine, Brad. It's I'm looking forward to the shade taking over here.
Yeah, I believe it was Wharton. That was great anticipation by him, baiting Parker just a little bit there. Had Parker been able to throw it up over top and lobbed it to 80 there, Ian Moeller.
Yeah, so big turnover for the Vikings, and that's not something you need in a game this big. There's a handoff to Pero, and he's not going to make it back to the line as he's swarmed up by Hoyt and the boys on that line. They're going to give him a yard to the 40. So, Brad, the last time we were on here, BMG, was week 1 against the Unioto Tanks, the only team that has beaten the Vikings this year. That was 5 turnovers in that game, Brad. We lost by 1, so let's hope that's not a reoccurring thing here at home as the Vikings have won their last 3 on the road, and there's a handoff to Pero. He's looking for space, cuts back across the middle this time, and will be swallowed up after about a gain of 3 yards, and it'll be another 3rd down and 6 for the Bulldogs.
Good vision by Pero there, cutting that back up midfield.
2 on the play makes it 3rd down 7.
So they gave him 2. It'll be 3rd and 7. At the 38 now, this might be 4-down territory for Athens as the clock is now under 9 minutes to go in the first quarter. And back to pass, throwing just out of reach for Sutton. It looks like Anthony Sutton's the go-to receiver. Is that he's been targeted most of the passes tonight by the quarterback Braden Young. And again, it's 4th down. We'll see. It looks like they're going to go for it.
Hopefully we can continue to see him recovering him.
Again, Sutton, very speedy wide receiver all over the field. They'll put him everywhere as they've got 4 wide. Pair on the backfield, 4th down, 7. Young back to pass, throwing down the seam, and incomplete. A little bit of hand checking going on, but nothing called as Woltz was on the coverage there for the Vikings, and crisis averted, Brad. The turnover does not turn into points.
No.
We actually have the ball just about the same place we had it when we threw that pick, so we'll see if the Vikings can take a deep breath and make something happen here on their second drive tonight with 8:46 left to go in the first quarter.
I dare to say we'll see a good dose of running the ball here on this possession.
Get a nice crowd here tonight at Vinton County High School. Beautiful weather. Hillsides looking good. Fireworks have been going off already. Really loved how they shot those off during the national anthem. I thought that was great. Puts me in mind of down at Bristol. They do that down there. The NASCAR race this weekend.
That's where you'd love to be.
Oh, and Brad, another fumble, and it's recovered by Athens.
Well, not exactly what the Vikings wanted to start this game off.
3 offensive plays for Vinton County, and 2 of them have been fumbles. The other was a 2-yard run by Garrett Brown, Brad. And I hate to say it, last time we were here, I had the unfortunate ability to call out bad things before they happened. And so far, I'm 2 for 2 tonight, so I'm going to try my best to not do that anymore.
Give us some positivity here, Nathan.
Positivity, Brad. Positive. It'd be a good time for a pick 6, Brad. Let's see what happens. So 8:40 to go. Athens with it again. Handoff to Pero. And he's swallowed up again by that interior line. A great job there by that defense. That defensive front, one of the best in the TVC. Hunter Hoyt credited with the tackle there. That's his 2nd of the night.
He's just a difference maker on that line. He's so hard to get around. You can't run hardly anything between the tackles with him being there in the middle.
8:14 to go first quarter. Athens with it inside the 40. They're at the 33-yard line. And they raise up, looking for the play call. Young's got
nice run.
Keeps it himself up the middle. All the way to the 25-yard line, and it's going to be 3rd down and 2. And, Brad, I was talking to one of Athens' assistant coaches, good friend of mine, John Brewster, before the game tonight. He's up here on the other side of the press box with us. He said they do have a kicker, and they will kick it, so we'll see just how close they need to get as it's a handoff, and it's fumbled, and the ball is recovered. Picked up by the Vikings. Number 54, that was
Reagan Newsom.
Reagan Newsom, and he was trying to repeat what we saw last week with Dimmel.
Yeah, I looked up and I saw the 5 on there. I thought, Dimmel's got a ball again. It's Reagan Newsom this time.
So the Vikings catch a break, Brad. It wasn't a pick six, but it was a fumble.
We needed
it. So we'll
it.
take that.
Yeah, we'll take it.
So the Vikings now with the ball. Again, I said this last time. Let's see if they can just take a deep breath. Run your go-to plays. Get some momentum on offense. They've had 3 offensive plays, 2 fumbles. And I believe they're probably getting a talking to right now from Coach Carper before they take the field. Hold on to the ball, boys.
Coach said, you've been bailed out twice now. Let's go. Come on.
Right. Defense,
no more mistakes.
The defense, again, we talked about it all year. Giving up 8.6 points per game right now at this point in the season. So they've done some bailing out so far as the handoff is to Brown. Brown squirts through the hole about the 50-yard line. He'll be brought down there about a pickup of about 4.5 yards. 7:15 to go in the first quarter here.
Yeah, we're going to see a steady dose of Brown and Habron now for a little bit.
Pick up a 4 yards on the play.
Vikings have 2 wide receivers to the near side. Brown in the backfield alongside Lane Habron. The handoff to Habron. Habron squirts ahead. Thought they were going to tackle him there at the line of scrimmage, but he was brought down after picking up a few yards by Roberts of the Bulldogs. He'll be a yard shy of the first down, Brad, and this could be another.
I'll take 3rd and short anytime.
This could be another handoff to Brown right here. As we're 6:37 to go in the first quarter. No score here from Vinton County High School. Week 2 at TVC Ohio play. Both of these teams 1-0. Big wins last week. And Parker Schonborn's going to sneak it, and he's going to be pushed forward for the first down. So the first down for the Vikings, Brad, tonight. Athens has 2. The Vikings with 1 now.
Yeah, they're doing what they need to do. Let's just settle in, do what we're strong at doing, and try to move this ball down the field and at least flip the field if not score.
So we've got an official timeout right now as the referees are convening about something. I'm not sure what. No flags tonight so far, Brad. We're halfway through the first quarter. And
there is no aiding the runner penalty anymore.
Well, only on touchdowns, Brad.
Okay. Is that how that works?
That's how it's worked in the last 15 years I've watched Vinton County football. So we're still talking here. And we've got a switch of the balls.
Okay.
So apparently
we had a Bulldog ball on the field?
Well, no, because it came back to our side. Maybe we have a kicking ball maybe that was out there. Could have been.
Bulldogs 43-yard line.
All right, so nonetheless, we're back to action. 6:05 to go. Schonborn with Brown next to him in the backfield. Motion. And Parker's going to keep it. And he runs ahead for about 4 yards.
Good read by Parker right there.
Good decision. Yes, the Athens right side of that line really there for Habron. They saw him coming in motion, and Schonborn did a good job of holding that ball just long enough to fake those defenders, pick up 4 yards down to the 40-yard line. 5:30 to go first quarter. No score from Vinton County High School. Schonborn's got it again. He's got some blockers. He's across the 30, tackled at the 29-yard line, but there is a flag, and it could be
I think it was a hold here on maybe Reagan Newsom.
There's a flag on the play.
Now, the positive part about this, if it's a hold, it was downfield, so it'll be 10 yards from the spot. So you're looking at probably another second down and 6 or 7 where they're at right now. See where they mark it off. Okay, they're going to mark it off from the 36.
It definitely wasn't Reagan Newsom.
It'll be the 46-yard line. So the Vikings will lose about 6 yards on the play, maybe 7. And they'll replay second down.
Vikings will make it second down, 13.
So another good run by Parker. That one taken away by the first flag tonight here. 5:10 to go. Schonborn rolling to the right, looking to pass. He throws.
Nice.
Hembry's got it, caught it, first down, brought down at the 30-yard line. Nice route, nice pass, nice catch. And a nice first down.
Hembry just found a soft spot there and sat in it. Parker was able to find him.
The Vikings have it at the 30 with 4:53 to go in the first quarter, clock rolling. After that catch by Matt Hembry. Looks like Athens may be blitzing. They do. Handoff is, no, it's a keeper. And Schonborn across the 25, hit there and dropped.
Nice run. Athens does that a lot. They come up and show blitz, and they tend to pull out about, 2/3 of the time. But
a pickup of about 5 yards for Parker. And is that something maybe the coaching staff saw on film or something, Brad? Because Parker usually isn't the feature back out of that quarterback position, but he has been so far. Schonborn throws. Ian Moeller has it, caught across the 20, shoestring tackle brought down there by Martin. That could have been a little more if not for that shoestring tackle.
Yeah, nice hands by Moeller there.
So Moeller gets enough for the first down. They'll move the chains again. Again, this is a team, Brad, that last year the Vikings, they were 90% run, 10% pass. A lot more of a mix this year, and it's got to help in terms of teams loading the box and giving these guys some space out of the backfield when they do. As Parker's going to keep it, bounces to the outside, now cuts back, and he's trying to get out of trouble, but he's brought down at the 20, and he'll lose a couple yards.
Yeah, this is definitely a side we haven't seen out of Parker here this year, but a handful of times. But he's consistently running it now.
3:25 to go first quarter. Parker Schonborn and the Vikings at the 21 now. They were in the red zone, and now they're out. Brown in the backfield. Twins to the near side. Hayburn goes in motion. The handoff's to Brown. Brown hits the line of scrimmage and falls forward for 3 yards. Back to the original line of scrimmage at the 19. It'll be 3rd and maybe 11 now.
I sure have liked the offense on this possession here. Good mix of throwing the pass, getting the quarterback involved in the run game. It's been really exciting to watch so far.
2:35 to go first quarter, scoreless here, Vinton County and Athens. And Parker's going to drop back, look to pass. And he throws it to a wide open Owen Heyer. And he jumps into the end zone for the score. Owen Heyer scores from a 19-yard pass by Parker Schonborn, and the Vikings take the lead on a big 3rd down play early in this contest. It's 2:23 to go in the first quarter. The Vikings score. Brad, the fireworks are going off.
That was an impressive drive by the Vikings there. We saw a little bit of everything. The tight end pass, we saw the quarterback run.
Well, you saw more passes than anything.
We did, and it looked good. It looked crisp. Passes to the running back, passes to the receivers.
So Hayburn's going to kick here, and again, extra points, very pivotal, especially on this field for some reason, Brad. Good snap, hold, kicks up, and the kick is good.
I like it.
So Cooper puts it through, and we are up 7-0. The Vikings lead.
Good to see Cooper back after having COVID last week.
2 minutes, 23 seconds left in the first
Right,
quarter.
yeah, that was something that we missed at the Megs game last week, and that's the reason we went for 2 every time almost.
Yeah, we missed him tremendously last week.
Yes,
It's good to see him back and be healthy again.
We had the other Hayburn punting and not Cooper. So
again, very impressive drive to me. That was probably the best mix of offensive play calling I've seen out of the Vikings in probably almost a season and almost a half now. That was very good. Very good mix.
Yeah.
Barnes and set for Athens.
So the Vikings are going to kick off with 2:23 to go in the first quarter. They lead Athens 7-0. As Storm's going to do the kicking duties here for the Vikings.
Storm to kick off for the Vikings.
And the kick's away. Good high kick, going to be caught sharp off the bounce at the 16. He's straight ahead.
Nice.
He's gone.
Nobody going to catch him.
30, 20, 10, 5, touchdown. Brad, the last time that the Vikings hosted the Athens Bulldogs, they returned a kick for a touchdown. It was the first one of the game. And they do the same thing tonight as Sharp picked that up off the bounce, initially got through that first wave, and there was no one there for the Vikings.
No, he got through that wedge, was gone, and just could not keep up with him.
So the Vikings give up 6 on special teams.
Let's say you see a return to the squib kick now.
Lawrence, Ashursis for the extra point try.
So Schurz just kicks, and it's a line drive, but it's good. And just like that, Brad, we're tied up at 7 with 2:11 to go in the first.
Didn't take a
quarter.
Long, did it?
Not long at all, about 15 seconds.
Well, and that's something that Vinton County hadn't had to deal with much this season. We've been pretty good on these squib kicks. To avoid getting any kind of return game, and they just split the defense right there.
Yeah, I would say you're right, Brad. You're probably going to see more squibs for the rest of the night. Again, anytime you have a Sharp from Athens, you know they're going to be pretty quick. They've had quite a few of them over the years, and they've done a lot of damage against the Vikings here.
Well, it started out already in this game, so.
The Vikings set to receive the kickoff.
Kicking off for Athens is Lance Osirus.
Well, we get to see the offense again.
Back to receive is Hembry and Lane Haber.
So Osirus is going to kick for the Bulldogs. We'll see if they kick it deep. A lot of teams have decided not to do that against the Vikings.
I don't blame them.
And the kick is a shorter kick, going to be picked up. And ran back across the 30, tripped up there to the 35.
Clayton Lester.
It was Clayton Lester. A nice return there by the up man.
Yeah.
And the Vikings have pretty good field position at the 36-yard line with 2:05 to go in the first quarter. The ball game is tied at 7.
Speaking about Clayton Lester, that's a kid that there's just so much talent on offense right now on the field that you just had 1 or 2 kids go down. That kid's probably starting right now.
Right.
Vikings ball.
Lester very good on defense for the Vikings as well. 2:05 to go first quarter. Vikings with it. They'll start the drive at the 36-yard line. Sean Bourne with Brown in the backfield. 2 wide receivers to the near side. Direct snap to Brown. Not sure that was on purpose, but he picks up 3 yards.
Sean Bourne's handoff goes to Garrett Brown.
Parker tried to reach in there and get it. He's shaking his head a little bit.
By Hayden Hughes. Gain of 2 on the play, makes it second down. 8 from their own 38-yard line.
The Vikings have it now, second down, 1:45 to go, first quarter. Sean Bourne and Brown in the backfield. 2 wide receivers to the far side. Moeller and Hembry. And Parker's going to keep it himself. Straight up the gut. Picks up about 6 yards. Brought down at the 44, and it'll be third down and 2. From there with 1:20 to go first quarter. Again, you're seeing Parker
nice
running the ball.
Crisp, quick decision to run that ball. I'm sure it was designed, but, man, he just took off right now and got up there.
So Wrinkle we have not seen as much in a game until this game here, and the Vikings draw the Bulldogs off sides, and will pick up a free first down.
Athens flag is for being offside.
I don't know if you noticed that, but Seth Hart walked up and shook one of the linemen's hands for the Vikings because they got him to jump. Not sure if there was something said or how it happened,
I've questioned a couple of the kids on the team, and nobody seems to be able to tell me what they're doing.
It's a secret, Brad.
It is a secret.
We would tell everyone.
They will not tell anyone, but they've been able to consistently do that over the last 2 seasons.
I believe he shook Reagan Newsom's hand. Attaboy. That is the side they jumped from. So the Vikings have it now, 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line. Parker's going to keep it again, run behind Brown. Hits the line. He's going to be drugged back by all kinds of Bulldogs after he picks up about 2 yards. They're going to give him 3 on the play. But again, 3 yards. Now here's the thing, Brad. Your backup quarterback, it's not the same situation we had last year where you had Parker Schonborn, who was kind of groomed to be that guy. You do have that in your backup this year, but he's a little bit younger.
He is. He is. And you also have Clayton Lester, who's right there, too, and he takes snaps at the quarterback.
Right.
So Jace Moore or Clayton Lester.
Is that something, though, that you're worried about with Parker running the ball this much?
He's a pretty well-built kid. He's used to taking some hits. I think he'll be okay.
So there's the counter play.
Nice
and Haber
vision.
cuts back, runs in, and gets tackled by the referee at the 35-yard line.
Referee took him out.
I've seen a lot of things, Brad, but I've never seen a Viking running back tackled by the ref.
No.
And so a touchdown-saving tackle by the judge there. And the Vikings will come over to the sideline because that's the end of quarter number 1 as the Vikings picked up a first down on that play. So the score 7-7. And we're going to step aside. We're going to hear a word from our sponsors right after this. All right, we're back here on BMG Media. Nathan Lamb alongside my partner, Brad Rose.
You know what? I know it's 7-7. This game feels like we've pretty much had control both offensively and defensively, aside from the 2 fumbles. The special teams give up. You can't blame that on your offense or your defense. Yeah. I think both have looked pretty sound.
3 mistakes, Brad, tonight for the Vikings. The kickoff return for a touchdown for the Bulldogs. The 2 fumbles for the Vikings. 7-7, you got to be kind of happy that it's 7-7 with those 3 big mistakes early in this game. The Bulldogs could easily have a 2 or 3 score lead right now. So we're going to start second quarter action. 7-7. Hembry in motion. Schonborn in the backfield, hands to Brown. Brown runs in and runs over a man, gets to the 30-yard line, and he's brought down by number 31. That was Jackson Moore on the tackle.
Don't you just feel like it's time for Brown to break a big one here?
6.
It's always time for that to happen.
I just have that feeling. I know I'm going to be wrong because I'm wrong most of the time, but a fella can dream.
2nd down, 6, Vikings. Brown in the backfield next to Schonborn. Wide receivers out on both sides. Schonborn's going to keep it. And he dances ahead about a couple on the play. Be down near the 34-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and about 5 for the Vikings.
3rd down and 5.
Early in the second quarter. Again, the ball game tied up at 7.
Athens 29-yard line.
So big 3rd down here. Probably 4-down territory, Brad, for the Vikings. Although I did see Cooper kicking from about 35 yards in warm-ups. A little bit too far out for that right now in this position, but Schonborn, again, they're trying to get the Bulldogs to jump off sides. They don't. Schonborn throws. Moeller catches, and he's going to be hit out of bounds, but only picks up 3 yards. So it's going to be
goes to Ian Moeller.
4th down and about a long 2 at the 26-yard line. Now they're going to mark it at the 25, so it's going to be 4th down and a long 1. 10:36 to go in the second quarter, and we'll see if the Vikings and Schonborn keep it. They've got 3 wide receivers to the far side and they're going to run that counter play. Habern's got it. He cuts back, gets the first down, busts ahead down to the 16-yard line.
off to
He's brought down
Lane
by
has,
Bukowski.
Lane has such a burst on that turn. I mean, it's just, boom, one step, and he's already through the line.
First down.
So the Vikings convert that 4th down.
1st and 10.
They are inside
The 16-yard
the red zone for the 2nd time tonight. We'll see if they can go 2 for 2 in the red zone and score again. As Hembry's in motion, they're going to hand it to Hembry. Hembry cuts back and gets hit, dropped at the 11-yard line.
Goes to Matt Hembry.
And so it'll be 2nd down. Tackle was Martin on the play for the Bulldogs.
On the play, makes 2nd down.
It'll be 2nd and 5 with 9:53 to go in the first half.
On the
Here
11-yard
from Vinton County High School again. Brad, a nice breeze.
Yes.
It's been constant
It has.
up here on top of the press
like
box.
somebody turned the heat off, though.
Well,
Sun went down and it got rather chilly.
I think it's perfect out right now. And I did bring sleeves, so
About time.
it's September. It's the middle of September. Sean Bourne in the backfield. Brown next to him. Hand off to Brown. Brown right ahead, across the 5, down to the 4. And he's tackled there. Tackled on the play by Peterson for the Bulldogs. 9:21 to go. Vikings with a 1st down and goal at the 4.
I like it going quick here.
1st down and goal to go from the 4-yard line.
The Vikings in the I formation now. Brown, fullback, tailback is Habron. 2 wide receivers to the far side. Single coverage out there if they want it. Sean Bourne may take it himself. He does not. He hands to Habron. Habron stood up, but he's still fighting forward.
Look at that.
And he's brought down at the 1-yard line. Gave it his all as he got ridden down by the Bulldogs lineman.
Makes it 2nd down.
So the Vikings are going to go quick here. And I believe you're going to see Sean Bourne sneak this one in as they're back in the I formation. 2 wide receivers to the near side this time. Brown and Parker takes it in himself and will get across the goal line for the 2nd time tonight. The Vikings score a touchdown and they're up 13-7. 8:34 to go. 2nd quarter.
Do you have direct line down to coach? Something on the sidelines? Because you seem to be able to pick these calls before they happen.
I've watched enough football, Brad. And Parker's been running the ball every other play, so they've been pretty good odds on that. So Lester's going to hold for Cooper Habron. Snap back, good snap, good hold, kicks up. Then the kick is right down the middle. And the Vikings go up 14-7 with 8:34 to go. Brad, we'll see if the special teams unit can do a little bit better job on this kickoff. We'll see if they do kick it deep to Sharp or to Sutton.
I doubt we'll see that again, Nathan.
Probably right. We'll try to look up a couple scores, Brad. This has been a pretty entertaining ball game tonight. I haven't had the chance. We'll see if we can find some of our TVC Ohio scores. Again, Nelsonville York with a big win over Bexley last night. Meggs leads River Valley in the 1st quarter 12-0.
Wow.
Piketon and Zane Trace. Zane Trace up 7-6. That's a tight one in the SVC. And Southeastern leads Adina 8-7 in the SVC. Eastern up on Waterford. That could be for the title, Brad, in the hockey. They're up 7-0. And Wellston leads Alexander. That game being played at Nelsonville York High School again. The sod not quite ready at Alexander. It will be next week when we travel to the Spartans Stadium there.
That'll be exciting.
In Albany. The Wellston Rockets lead Alexander 6-0. And the Vikings hold a 14-7 lead over Athens as Storm kicks it, and it's straight down the middle. And Sharp's got it again. We'll see if the Vikings can contain. And hit at the 30, skips the tackle. He's across the 40 and ran out of bounds at the 44-yard line. Squibbed it, but
Still
squibbed it deep.
Yeah.
So maybe we need to look to the edges instead of down the middle because Sharp, dangerous. We've seen it twice now.
Absolutely, and I'm sure he's going to expose wherever we are thinnest. But Habron chased him down there. That's a pretty good one to have out there.
So Athens will start. Well, they're going to spot him at the 42. Looked like he ran out at the 44.
From their own 42-yard line.
So the Bulldogs are going to start at the 42. They're down by 7, 8:26 to go first quarter. And the handoff to Perro, and he's hit at the line, but breaks a tackle and gets hit by Lester, and he picks up about 2 yards on the play.
Hunter Hoyt, a big influence on that play. Drove the center back, got a mid out there, and got a hold of him, and didn't allow him to get too far.
Gain of 2 on the play makes it 2nd down, 8.
The Bulldogs with 2nd down and 8, 14-7. 8 minutes left, second quarter. Here from Vinton County High School, this TVC Ohio matchup between 1-0 teams. Handoff. Nope. It's a keeper. And hit in the backfield and dropped by Reagan Newsom.
Tackle is made by the Vikings. Reagan Newsom.
Braden Young had that RPO. Made the wrong choice on that play.
Yeah, all 3 defensive linemen were released, and all 3 had an effect on that play.
So that drops them back to 3rd down and 10. Loss of 2 on the play. 7:30 to go. Second quarter.
3rd down, 10.
Young with pair in the backfield and 4 wide receivers. They've run this set quite often tonight. And Young back to pass.
Pressure again.
He's hit and sacked. That was Owen Heyer initially getting there.
Dialing up a little pressure from the linebacker.
Finished off by Luke Dimmel. And that's a loss of 6 yards on the play. It'll be 4th and 16, and the Bulldogs will have to punt back to the Vikings with 6:51 to go.
4th and 16.
In the second quarter, Hembry is back deep for the Vikings. Snap low, kicks away. Pretty good kick. It's going to bounce at the 37. Take a Bulldog roll down to about the 33-yard line, and that's where the Vikings will take over, Brad. And we talked about that first quarter. It felt like the Vikings had kind of controlled the first quarter, minus those 3 mistakes, the 2 fumbles and the punt or kickoff return for a touchdown. The second quarter's been much of the same, so this is a big drive here for the Vikings, because if you can go up 21-7 going into halftime, you got to feel pretty good about yourself.
On the 32-yard line, Vinton County. 1st down.
Vikings with 2 wide to the far side. Brown in the backfield with Schonborn. Schonborn hands to Brown. Brown hit. Driving forward across the 35. Tackled at the 36.
Goes to Garrett Brown.
Pick up a 4 yards on the play, and Vikings will have it with a 2nd down and 6.
Tackled by a gang of Bulldogs.
Garrett's earning every yard tonight.
Absolutely. Being hit at the line nearly every time he takes the football.
Yeah.
Under 6 minutes now in the second quarter. Schonborn's going to keep it. Cuts to the left. Across the 40 to the 41.
Parker Schonborn on the quarterback keeper.
And that's going to set up a 3rd down and 2.
And the on the play makes 3rd down, 2.
And the Vikings continuing to run the clock here. Trying to put together a drive to finish off this first half.
41-yard line.
In a game they've given up 0 points on defense.
Yeah.
And 7 on that return for a touchdown for the Bulldogs by Sharp. In the first quarter, I formation for the Vikings. The handoff is to Habern, and Habern's hit in the backfield and brought down. And he's going to lose 2 yards back to the 39-yard line. And now the Vikings probably going to have to punt here at this point, Brad.
Yeah, here we go. They're going to punt.
So we'll see if they send Sharp back deep to get the punt.
Makes it 4th down, 4.
Looks like
From the 39-yard line.
Leo Martin's going back to receive the punt for the
4 minutes
Bulldogs.
and 45 seconds left. Vinton County will punt.
Cooper Habern's going to punt for the Vikings on 4th down and 4. Good snap. Habern rolls out, kicks. Nice kick. It's going to bounce near the 30-yard line. Take a nice roll for the Vikings down inside the 15. All the way down to the 11-yard line.
Great punt.
With 4:23 to go in the first half, the Bulldogs are pinned deep.
Only a 49-yard punt by Cooper Habern. Athens will take over possession on their 6th drive of the game. Begin 1st and 10 on their 12-yard line.
And if you're Athens here, even though the Vikings have had a lot of success on offense and defense, you've got a chance to go into halftime tied if you can find a way down the field before the clock runs out here with 4:23 left. Trips to the near side for the Bulldogs. Handoff. Pero forges his way ahead, picks up about 2 yards on the play before the Vikings drive him backwards. We'll see if the Bulldogs run a little quicker here as we are nearing the 4-minute mark.
Tackled by the Vikings, Eli Potter. Gain of 2 on the play. Makes it 2nd down 8.
Circleville leads Amanda Clear Creek right now, 7-0.
That's good for us. Young looking to pass. Oh, nearly picked off but caught at the 20-yard line. As Lester almost undercut that. Pass to Wharton.
Tackle on the play.
Going to be 3rd down and 1, though, Brad. So a big opportunity here for the Vikings to force the Bulldogs to punt. Still with enough time left to make something happen, but they've got to get a stop on this 3rd down and 1. Young hands Pero. No, Young keeps it around the left side. He gets the 1st down up to the 29-yard line.
Quarterback keeper.
Good choice by Young there. Great run.
Tackle was made by Eli Potter. Yardage enough for Athens' 1st down. 1st and 10 on their own 29-yard line with 3 minutes and 11 seconds left.
Screen pass over to the right side. Vikings all over it. And ran out of bounds after a pickup of 3.
Young's pass was complete to Anthony Sutton.
Young to Sutton again, Brad. We've
I want to see a heavy dose of that the rest of the game.
seen that quite a bit. Now,
Pick up a 3 on the play.
picks up 3 yards, but more importantly runs out of bounds. The clock stops, 2:57 left, and the Bulldogs have it at the 32. Trying to make their way into the end zone and tie this game up before the end of the 1st half. Braden Young at quarterback. Alex Pero in the backfield with him. 4 wide receivers. Looking deep, now rushing, running around, throws it just out of reach. That was to Martin, just out of reach. It would have been good enough for a 1st down as he came back for it. But you saw, again, the Vikings' interior line not giving Braden Young that much time. He had to sidestep and get out of that pocket.
They're definitely pressuring on almost every play.
In a 3-man front for the Vikings. Same formation for the Bulldogs. Young back to pass, throws this time. And through the hands of Bukowski.
Is incomplete.
That would have been good enough for a 1st down and maybe more, as it's now 4th down.
With 2 minutes and 46 seconds.
The positives for the Bulldogs, they climbed out of the goal line area where they started this drive, and they also ran a couple minutes off the clock. So now the Vikings are going to need some big plays here if they want to tack on another touchdown. But a nice job by the Vikings defense again as they hold Athens and force a punt. And that punt's not very good, Brad. It's going over to the right side, hits at the 50, and it's going to bounce to the 46-yard line. So Vikings with a little bit of a break there, Brad. They've got about 46 yards. Let's see. No, they've got 54 yards to the end zone. Again, like I said, in the pregame, Cooper Hayburn kicking pretty consistent from the 17-yard line, which would be a 27-yard kick. So we'll see if the Vikings can get to the 10. If they get to the 10, you've got that in your back pocket. So you don't have to get all the way in to get some points. And 3 points would be huge in this situation as they're up by a touchdown. It'd make it a 2-score game. Handoffs to Brown. Brown, again, hit. This time he breaks free. Dragging tacklers all the way down to the 44-yard line, and they're going to motion 1st down. 1st and 10 for the Vikings.
Good run by Garrett there.
And I tell you, Brad, I'm right on the line. And that looked a little short to me, but they motioned for the 1st down. We'll take it. 2:23 to go. The clock is running. It shouldn't be, but it is. And there's a screen pass over to Ian Muller, and he had to dive for that one. Wouldn't have had much if he did catch it, as the Dogs were all over that.
2nd and 10.
as Brady Wharton was there and a couple other Bulldogs.
Wharton's been all over the field on defense tonight.
So quick 2nd and 10, 2:18 to go. Vikings at the 44. Sean Bourne hands to Brown. Brown cuts back, straight ahead, gets hit. There's a flag on the play. And if this is a hold, and it is.
Yep. Here at Brown, but there's a flag on the play.
It'll be a hold on the Vikings. That's going to drop them back 10 yards, Brad, and that's 2:11 to go. It's going to be 2nd down and 20.
Pulling guards there on that play, and I don't know what Garrett saw. He cut back inside. Something got busted on that play.
Second down 19.
It's going to be 2nd down and 19 yards. The Vikings with 2:08 to go. We'll see if they try to just run this clock down now as it's 2nd down. 15 seconds left on the play clock, 2 minutes on the game clock. Sean Bourne sends Habern in motion. He hands to Brown. And Brown squirts ahead again. Good physical run there. Picks up about 3 yards on the play. We're under 1:40 to go in this first half. All at the 49-yard line. It's 3rd down and 16. .22 seconds left on the play clock. 1:25 to go on the game clock. Looks like the Vikings are going to run this down as far as they can. The Bulldogs have all 3 timeouts if they want to take one, but they're going to hold on to those. As Schomburg's going to drop back to pass.
He's got a man open.
And he throws it, and that's going to be thrown out of bounds. Intended receiver was Hembry, but really wasn't that open. Took the safe thing and threw it away. With 1:03 to go, the Bulldogs are going to get one more crack. The Vikings are going to punt. Cooper Habern's going to do the kicking duties here. Again, the last punt all the way down to the 12-yard line. We'll see if he can replicate that here as Leo Martin drops back to field this.
Big return here for the Bulldogs, and got a chance.
So Cooper's kick. This one's a little bit shorter. Going to be caught, fair caught at the 25. So the Bulldogs will have it with 55 seconds left in the first half. You see Athens try to take some shots here, or did they just go into halftime down by 7?
Maybe one shot. I think if nothing comes off of it, you don't break midfield, then it's time to just fold up your tent and head to halftime.
Drive from their own 26-yard line, 1st down 10. Bulldogs.
Young in the backfield with Perro. 4 wide receivers, 3 to the far side. Young rolls that way. Hits the underman, and
nice tackle.
Lester with the tackle inbounds after a pickup at 3, and they're going to call their first time out of the night with 42 seconds left. Clock still rolling, Brad. Should be at 42. We'll see if they reset that. 14-7, the Vikings lead. Bulldogs with it. 2nd down and 6 at the 30-yard line.
I'm sure if you're Athens here, you'd like to see a score, but honestly, just a few positive plays here and get a little momentum going into the half.
So, Brad, this game last year, the Vikings had some success, started to get things rolling at this point in the season last year as they started 0-2. Came into this game with a couple wins in a row. The Bulldogs really put up a big fight last year against these Vikings. The Vikings left Athens and kind of, it was kind of a game where you just kind of exhaled after it was over because you came away with a 21-6 win on the road in Athens.
It was closer than the
game
score
that,
was
yeah, a game that was closer than what the score showed because the Bulldogs moved the ball, but they just couldn't punch it in when they got into the red zone. Now, the difference tonight being the Bulldogs really haven't moved the ball much, but they've had some timely big plays and again have been aided by a couple turnovers, which ultimately didn't turn into anything. But again, that's points off the board for the Vikings. So the Dogs will have it with 46 seconds left, down by 7. Young back to pass. throws deep and short. That was for Bakovsky. And
Ball's incomplete.
the Vikings
On the defense for the
force a third down and 6 from the 30
Third down.
with 42 seconds left.
If you're Vinton County here and you get
The Vikings, you've got all 3 timeouts.
Yeah.
If you can force a punt, and there's a handoff to Perro. Perro going to try to get that first down. Hit and swung down on the play. Was that Hembry?
Handoff goes to
hell, but that was a heck of a toss.
Wow. So it's going to be 4th down and 2, and
without 4 on the play.
they're going to say he was out of bounds. So that stops the clock. So the Vikings, with all 3 timeouts, 35 seconds left, you sell out on this and try to block it.
I think so.
We'll see what happens.
They don't have Hunter in the middle like they normally do, so they must be going after it.
The punt is away. And it hits at the 40. Takes a Bulldog bounce to the 34. Now 25 seconds left in the first half, Brad. The Vikings have all 3 timeouts, but not much time. So you just take a knee and go to half.
Yeah, I think you just give the ball to Garrett here and let him run and call it half.
See what the Vikings do. They've got 2 wide receivers to the near side. And it looks like Parker's going to take it
down.
All right, so that's going to do it for the first half. The Vikings with a 14-7 lead, Brad, in a game that they've, I'm not going to say dominated, but have controlled, minus a couple turnovers and minus the big kickoff return for a touchdown for the Bulldogs and Sharp. The Vikings have played well, especially on defense. That's something that they've done on this winning streak. They've won 3 in a row. They've won all their games on the road this year.
Yeah.
This is only the second home game of the year, which is odd. We're halfway through September, and this is the second time we've been here. But you got to feel pretty happy if you're the Vinton County Vikings, because you made mistakes and you still hold a halftime lead of 7 points. But also, if you're Athens, you got to feel pretty happy because you're still in the ballgame.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, it doesn't feel like a 14-7 game right now.
Right.
Now, obviously it is, but it doesn't feel that way. It feels like Vinton County has really kind of controlled both sides of the ball, aside from special teams and a couple of mistakes, and I'm sure they'll clean that up. But if you're Athens, there's still plenty to be excited about, because this second half, you can get it going.
absolutely. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to hear from our sponsor again. We're going to take a break. After you hear from our sponsor, we're going to show you the band's show tonight, the Athens Marching Bulldogs and the Vinton County Marching Vikings. We're going to let them do their thing and bring that to you here on BMG. So you're going to hear from our sponsor real quick. You're going to watch the halftime show. We'll come back with second half action. We'll have the stats. We'll have everything you need on the other side of the break. So we're going to hear from our sponsor. We'll be right back. This is the halftime show here from Vinton County High School on BMG.
Under the direction of Sam Cooper, Associate Director Avery Mansfield, Color Guard Instructor Courtney Scarberry, Assistant Director Corey Harper, and Field Commander Elijah Mann, we proudly present the Vinton County Marching Vikings! Song, Check Yes, Juliet, was for all of you who were meant to be a secret note. Before the invention of the cell phone, our next tune is for the Swifties out there. It's a love story, baby, just say yes. When things are right, you just know. Break it down with the band as they dance to Beyonce's End of Time. for your attention and applause. We are the Vinton County Marching Vikings.
Welcome back to Vinton County High School. Nathan Lamb here alongside Brad Rose. Great halftime show there by the
bands were awesome.
Bands were great. Marching Bulldogs playing some Back to the Future tunes.
It was great.
Probably my favorite franchise of all time, Brad, in terms of movies.
Really, Back to the Future?
Yeah.
You didn't strike me as a Back to the Future guy. I thought you were a die-hard fella.
I mean, I like Die Hard, but just Back to the Future just hits me right in the feels. I was a younger person back then, and when they came out, and I loved.
We all were.
Back to the Future 3, still one of the only trilogies that got better as it went along, I feel.
Really?
Unlike the Major League, again, another really good.
Yeah, Major League, the original was the best.
Original was best. The second one was okay. The third one was trash. So
I didn't even realize there was a third one.
Yeah, it was almost
so that's
like
how good it was.
It's almost like Tremors.
Yeah.
It started out great, and then now there's like Tremors everywhere. So anyway, let's get back to this football game,
Okay.
Brad. The Vikings lead 14-7. Got a couple minutes here before we kick off the third quarter. We got some stats we're going to read over. The Vikings and the Bulldogs both scored in the first quarter. Vinton County on a 19-yard reception to Owen Heyer from Parker Schonborn. And a Cooper Hayburn kick with 5 minutes and 6 seconds left. It was an 11-play, 55-yard drive for the Vikings to put them on the board 23 seconds after that.
Didn't take long.
An 84-yard kickoff return for the Bulldogs, and they were on the board. Extra point was good. Tied up at 7 in the second quarter with 8:34 to go. Vinton County, Parker Schonborn, a 1-yard run. And a Cooper Hayburn kick. It was a 12-play, 65-yard drive. The Vikings scored with 5:31, and that was the final score of the first half as the Vikings lead 14-7. So we'll read over a couple team stats here. First downs, the Vikings have 9. The Bulldogs have 3. Vikings 26 rushes for 95 yards. It's about their average.
Yeah.
The Bulldogs with 14 rushing attempts for 25 yards. Passing yards, 20 for the Bulldogs and 46 for the Vikings. The Bulldogs are 3 of 10, and the Vikings are 4 of 7 in the air. Total offensive plays, 33 for the Vikings for a total of 141 yards. 24 offensive plays for the Bulldogs for a total of 45 yards. So the Vikings with success there in terms of the stats. Fumbles, the Vikings have 2. And the Bulldogs also have that kickoff return for a touchdown. They've got 2 kickoff returns tonight, Brad. 113 total yards on kickoffs.
Not a bad average
for the Bulldogs. The Vikings with 2 penalties for 19 yards, 1 penalty for 5 yards for the Bulldogs. A pretty clean game in the first half in terms of penalties. Possessions, the Vikings with 15 minutes and 6 seconds of time of possession, and the Bulldogs with 8 minutes and 54 seconds. Third down conversions, the Vikings 2 of 5, the Bulldogs 2 of 7. Fourth down conversions, the Vikings 1 of 1, and the Bulldogs 0 of 1. Red zone scores, the Vikings with 2 scores on 2 trips. The Bulldogs have not seen the red zone tonight.
Hit me with those overall offensive yards for the Bulldogs again.
So the Bulldogs' offensive yards, 20 passing yards, 25 rushing yards, for a total of 45 yards. Rushing for the Bulldogs, Alex Perro has 7 carries for 16 yards. Braden Young, 6 carries for 6 yards. Sutton with 1 carry for 3 yards. Garrett Brown for the Vikings, 9 carries for 39 yards. Lane Habron, 3 carries for 30 yards. Parker Schonborn, 11 carries for 22 yards. And Matt Hembry, 1 carry for 4 yards. Passing, Braden Young, 3 of 10 for 20 yards. Parker Schonborn, 4 of 7 for 46 yards with an interception. Or no, with a touchdown. My apologies.
Not too shabby the first half for both teams.
Yeah, not bad. So those are the stats, first half stats. We'll get back to action here as the Bulldogs kick it off to the Vikings, picked up at the 20-yard line by Hembry. Hembry gets hit at the 30 and falls ahead to the 34 as he was brought down by Martin for the Bulldogs. So the Vikings start second half action at the 34-yard line. Again, Brad, this is a drive here where you would like to see the Vikings eat up some clock here and
punch
it in. So we're going to see what we have. We got a timeout by the referees.
Not sure what we got going on here. Got
looking at some equipment, for the Bulldogs as we'll look over some scores here. Meigs leads River Valley 32-6. Circleville leads Amanda Clear Creek. That's a Circleville team the Vikings beat earlier 7-0. So we'll keep an eye on that score, as a Circleville win will be points in the pocket for the Vikings in terms of playoffs. Handoff, Habern around the left side, cuts back now. This time stutter steps and picks up the first down across the 45-yard line to the 46. So again, a nice cutback by Habern.
Lane's just so exciting to watch run. You don't know what to expect out of him. He could bounce it outside. He could cut it back inside. It just, you don't know what you're getting from Lane every time he touches the ball.
Parker Schonborn in the backfield. Brown next to him now. 11:35 to go, third quarter. Vikings up by 7. Bulldogs loading the box. Vikings with 2 wide receivers to the near side. Snap back. Parker looking to this side now. Rolls. There's a penalty flag. Looks like a hold. Parker's going to run it across and out of bounds at the 50-yard line. But this is going to come back, Brad, and it's going to be a deep one. It's deep in the backfield. The flag came out. And this will more than likely be a hold against the Vinton County Vikings with 11:21 to go in the third quarter.
You are correct.
So the ball will go back. After a pretty good start for Vinton County on offense in this third quarter, they have buried themselves in a hole now as they've got the ball at the 35. And it'll be first down and 21 from that spot. The Vikings send a wide receiver to each side. Habern in the backfield with Schonborn. See if they give it to Habern again over that left side. They do. Habern. This time he cuts back early. Nothing doing as the Bulldogs swallow him up for a loss of 3.
Great defense by Athens there.
Good initial push. Forced Habern to make that cut early, Brad, not get to the edge, and there was just nothing there for Mr. Habern. So the Vikings now, with its second down And after that loss, it's going to be 2nd and 24. The Vikings need a couple big plays here, Brad. Momentum is starting to shift back over towards the Bulldogs as they're only down by 7. As Schonborn sends Hembry in motion. Schonborn looks that way. He throws deep. Haburn caught and dropped. Had it in his hands and dropped it at the 45-yard line. It was nothing but green grass in front of him. If he would have held that, it would have been a score, Brad.
I think Bukowski might have had a hand on that ball. It was close.
Defense for the Bulldogs.
So the Bulldogs dodge a big bullet there on defense. It's now 3rd and 24.
Third down, 24.
With 10:21 to go in the third quarter. Early in this one, 14-7. The Vikings lead the Bulldogs. Haburn in motion. Parker's got 3 wide receivers out there. He throws deep. Owen Heyer trips and falls short of the ball. Heyer was open. If the ball was on the money, it was a first down and maybe another touchdown, Brad. And that's something that, even though those 2 plays didn't work out, you can put that in your pocket and remember that for later, as the Vikings are going to have to punt this one now. But 2 big plays that they could have capitalized on had it been some, just a very
a little more touch on the ball.
Right. Just a matter of inches, especially on the Haburn pass, that could have resulted in a big touchdown. With 10:14 left, Cooper Haburn's going to have to punt from his 20. Good snap. Punt is away. Pretty good
nice
punt. That's going to be down inside the 30 at the 30-yard line by Madison. So Madison downs the ball at the 30. Another good punt, like you said, by Haburn. Done a great job tonight punting the football.
38-yard punt.
And with 10:03 in the third quarter, the Bulldogs will get their shot on offense the first time in the second half.
From their own 30-yard line.
As they
10 minutes left.
held the Vikings there. The Vikings doing some damage of their own with penalties on that first drive in the third quarter, but the Bulldogs hold, and they will have a shot to score and tie this game. From the 30, Pero takes it, trying to get the corner. Big hit there by Owen Heyer at the line of scrimmage. Maybe a half a yard on the gain there by Pero. Heyer is somebody that his size is deceiving because he's quick on that edge, and it's hard for a lot of these running backs to outrun Owen Heyer, even though he is.
He's always got himself in position, too. He's always wide enough. He doesn't let anybody get to the edge on him.
So Pero takes it again, this time up the gut. He's going to pick up about 2 yards. So brought down on the play there by Potter. So it'll be a quick 3rd down and 7 for the Bulldogs with 9:20 to go in the third quarter, clock running. So now a big chance for the Vikings to answer the Bulldogs on defense and get a stop of their own here early in the third quarter. Back to pass, throw, bounced in. Was it bounced or caught? It was caught.
Caught.
And picking up the first down.
Young's pass was complete to Leo Martin.
So Martin just fingertip catch off the grass and picks up a first down.
Defended pretty well, just a nice little pass into the pocket there.
Ball was in the perfect position, apparently. So the 44-yard line is where the Bobcats, that's tomorrow's game. Iowa State comes to Peden Stadium.
You see that green and white, it can get confusing.
So the Bulldogs, with 9:02 to go, 1st and 10, 44-yard line. This is the first time a Power 5 conference has come to Peden Stadium, Brad, in years. So
it's not something you see very often.
And there's a counter play to Pero, and Pero,
look at that,
strung out, picks up about 2 yards on the play. Pretty good design play, Brad, but the Vikings line was not fooled.
Hembry come flying up there and made a nice tackle.
2nd and 8 from the 46-yard line of Athens.
8:42 to go, third quarter. Athens with the ball, 2nd down and 8. Pero in the backfield. Young takes the snap, looks to pass, throws, and caught at the 50-yard line and instantly hit by
Young's pass was complete.
Madison. That was Bukowski on the reception. Madison right there.
Brings about 3rd down.
For the tackle to be 3rd down and 4.
Defense looks quick tonight.
Right at the 50-yard line, yes, absolutely.
Something about it across the board. They're all looking quick tonight.
3rd and 4.
8:05 to go. Big 3rd down here from the 50. Young in the backfield. Pero next to him. 2 wide receivers to each side. And it's a keeper by Young. Young squirts ahead, gets the first down, breaks another tackle.
Oh, lost it. He got it.
And he picks the ball back up off the turf, and he's got a first down to the 36-yard line. Nice job on that play by keeping the ball for Young on that RPO. Picked up the first down.
On film, Young looked very athletic. He was breaking those off against everybody. I expected to see more of that tonight. We really haven't seen that a whole bunch.
So pick up a 14 yards, 7:40 to go, third quarter. Bulldogs moving the football now. And there's a pitch. Pero trying to get the corner. Owen Hires got him there, and he's tackled, but not before picking up 5 yards. So another positive play for the Bulldogs.
Athens starting to get things moving here.
Starting to get in a rhythm here for the Bulldogs. It's going to be second down and 5 from the 31-yard line with 7:15 to go. The Vikings need a big stop here as Hoyt comes off the field. The Vikings still in that 3-man front. And the ball bounces in the air, and it's going to be recovered.
Yeah, I think they got it back.
Looks like the Bulldogs have it. They do. Not sure what happened there, but maybe the snap was a little quick. Looked like it bounced off someone's noggin.
I thought, was it 11? Brandon Madison? Was he in the who was it? Somebody was in the backfield there for us. Had an opportunity with that ball when it was in the air. Just didn't see it.
So a loss of 2 on that Karam makes it 3rd and 7. This is 4-down territory for the Bulldogs, so we'll see if they try to go with Young again on the ground. And they're going to pitch it this side to Pero, and Pero gets hit at the 30, and he's going to be dropped there, and it's going to be 4th down and 2 inside the 30 at the 29. And the Bulldogs 0 for 1 tonight on 4th downs. Going to try to pick up a pivotal one here with 6:05 to go in the third quarter, down by 7. They've got the ball. They have not driven the ball down into the red zone yet tonight. This is the furthest they've made it all game long. And they're going to try to capitalize here, but they need to pick up a 4th down and 3.
County lined up like a
Young hands to Pero. Pero straight up the gut. He's got the first down to the 22-yard line. And the Bulldogs inching closer to the red zone with 5:48 to go in the third quarter. Again, the Bulldogs having their way, Brad. It's not big plays, but it's enough.
That's all you want. You just need a nice sustained drive.
And they're doing it on the ground mostly. Couple nice passes along the way, but Young and Pero have been getting some yards so far on this drive in the third quarter. It's a man in motion, handoff, Sutton trying to get the corner. Vikings are out there, and there he's hit and dropped after a pickup of about 2 yards. Like Lester was out there. A couple others, 76. Lester on the tackle, but James Swain was out there as a lineman, really stringing that play out. So nice job by the Vikings there as we near the 5-minute mark in the third quarter.
The Bulldogs' offensive line is starting to get a pretty good push. I think that's where you're starting to see the success in the running game at.
So pair in the backfield, 2 wide receivers to both sides for Young. Young takes the snap, hands to Pero. Pero straight up the gut, breaks a tackle inside the 15, down to the 14.
Pero looking strong. I mean, a lot of arm tackling there by the Vikings, and you're just not going to bring him down with an arm tackle.
All right, so it's going to be marked at the 15. It's going to be a big 3rd down and 3. Now at this point, Brad, I do feel like Athens is within the field goal range there for their kicker. But they've yet to be this far down the field, so I could see them going for it on 4th down if they don't get it here. But they're going to want to get this crucial 3rd down. Handoff, Pero. No, it's a keeper. And brought down about 2 yards shy was Young. And it's going to set up another 4th down. And no, he fumbled it.
Wow.
There's a fumble on the play, and nobody knew it, and the Vikings recovered.
I heard the whistle, and I thought, is somebody calling a timeout on this? What are we doing here?
So we don't have to worry about what's going to happen on 4th down, Brad, because 4th down is no more. It's 1st down and 10 for the Vikings.
Defense coming up big right there for us. I don't know who got that ball.
We didn't even know there was a fumble, Brad.
No.
Just take a guess, pick a name. Let me ask you this, Brad. It's the second fumble by Young on that drive. He picked up the first one, obviously, on that long sustained drive by the Bulldogs. It's starting to get a little settled here, a little dew, maybe a little slippery out there on the field.
Well, and I'm sure the ball's a little chilly too right now, as cold as it's getting.
So the Vikings, can they take advantage of the turnover? Schonborn hands to Brown. Brown straight up the gut, and he gets across the 20 to the 21-yard line. They'll get in the 22, and it'll be 2nd down and 3. 3:55 to go, 14-7, this tight ball game in week number 2 of the TVC Ohio. The Vikings and Bulldogs both 1-0, trying to make that 2-0 mark.
4.
In a big early season game in the TVC Ohio this year for the Vikings with Athens in week 2, and then they kind of bookend it with a big game in the second to the last game of the season with Nelson York over in Booktool. There's a handoff, same play, this time to Hayburn. Hayburn gets up near the 25-yard line. That's near 1st down. We'll see where they spot the ball. Looks like maybe a yard shy, and it'll be another big 3rd down. This time 3rd down and 1 for the Vikings with 3:17 left in the 3rd quarter. We'll see if the Vikings go in that I formation and sneak it with Parker. They're not going to. They may just give this one to, well, they're going to go under center, so Parker's probably going to sneak it here. And he runs right tackle and gets the 1st down. He's going to be real close. They're going to go ahead and say 1st down as he got to the 31-yard line.
Nice little delay by Parker there to wait and see what the guard was going to do.
So 2:59 to go, 3rd quarter. Vikings with a 1st down. They're at the 26-yard line. No score in the second half. 14-7 is the score.
On the 26-yard line.
The Bulldogs scored in the 1st quarter on a long touchdown return for their 1st and only score of the night. The Vikings with 2 scores of their own in the 1st half, none in the second half. Hayburn tries to get the corner. He gets hit at the 25 and dropped there. We'll lose a yard.
Handoff went to Lane Hayburn.
Clock continuing to run, Brad. This quarter is going by pretty quick.
No gain on the play.
2nd drive for the Vikings in this quarter. The Bulldogs have had it only once on offense.
I don't have any issue with a short game. I like it being quick. Just keep running the ball, running the clock. I like it.
So Brown in the backfield with Schonborn. The Vikings with 2 wide receivers, 1 to each side. Schonborn takes the snap. He's going to run behind Brown. This time he cuts outside. There's another flag on the play. And it looks like another hold against the Vikings, Brad, and that's going to put the Vikings at 2nd down and long again.
3rd time tonight. That's been a bit of a drive killer every time.
And there's the call, holding against the Vikings. Again, Brad, we talked about it. The 1st half, it felt like the Vinton County Vikings controlled the ball game. But we knew with a 14-7 score, mistakes continue to happen, and you could be on the short end of the stick.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You've got to clean up these holes right now, in hopes that you can get a little drive going here. I'd love to have an insurance score here.
2nd down. It's 3rd down. They declined that, Brad. 3rd down and 10. They declined it.
I wonder why they didn't step that off.
Instead of 2nd and 20, it's 3rd down and 10. So the Bulldogs are pretty confident that they can stop the Vikings here on 3rd down. And Schonborn has the ball in the backfield, takes the snap, looks to pass. Looks like he's looking for Moeller. Moeller covered up. He throws and almost intercepted. That was to Garrett Brown underneath. Would have been near a 1st down, but almost picked off.
Garrett Brown.
That was Kaiser on the near interception for the Vikings, and the Bulldogs' strategy pays off. They let the Vikings, they take the penalty. They don't mark them back. They say, we're going to stop you on 3rd and 10, and they do just that. So they'll get the ball back.
If you're the Bulldogs here, do you go after this or you set up the return?
Yeah, I rush here. I go after it.
No,
and Cooper's
another beautiful punt.
Kick takes a big bounce. Inside the 15, down to the 14-yard line.
If the Vikings hold on and win this game tonight, honestly, Cooper has been a difference maker in this game so far tonight.
Cooper kicking that ball near the 10-yard line. You talk about flipping the field. One kick flipped the field right there. Martin was at the 40-yard line when he kicked that football. So he expected it to be at the 40. Now, it did hit at the 35. He did not receive the kick, and it ends up bouncing all the way down there. But you're exactly right. That's a huge part of this game, especially because it's 14-7. If it's a 48-16 ball game, you don't really pay attention to that stuff, Brad. But in tight ball games, every play like that matters. Bulldogs have it back on offense. Young looks to pass. He's got a wide open receiver, and just off the mitts. It's incomplete. Is that Martin?
Pass intended for Devin Barnes is incomplete.
That was Barnes. Devin Barnes.
The numbers are still hard to see.
They are so hard, Brad. I thought saw the Vikings come out in their maroon with the white letters, and I thought this is going to be awesome. And then Athens comes out with these gold letters, and I was like, oh no, great. They look great, but they're just hard to see from atop a press box. They just are. Young with the keeper. He gets around the corner, and they're going to call a hold on the Bulldogs here.
Young on a quarterback keeper.
As Woltz was held.
Tackle was made by Clayton Lester.
Yeah, Lester comes up, makes another great tackle. Lester's
having a game on defense, Brad, and just like the Vikings' last couple drives, the Bulldogs going to put themselves in a peculiar situation here as they're going to be pinned deep. Instead of 2nd down and 5, it's going to be 3rd down and 15. Or 2nd down and 15, excuse me.
On Athens, 10-yard penalty.
So 1 minute even left to go in the 3rd quarter. 14-7, the Vikings lead. Bulldogs back deep at the 9-yard line now with a 2nd down and 15. Clock rolling. Young in the backfield, Piero next to him, 4 wide receivers, 2 to each side for the Bulldogs. Handoff, fake the handoff, now looking for the seam, downfield, tossed up, and pulled down. It is pulled down. It is caught.
It was good coverage.
Young's pass was complete to Martin.
Great
Martin
catch.
with the catch. Yeah, the coverage was there, Brad, but just a better catch.
Yeah, beautiful catch.
So that gets the Bulldogs out of trouble. They're at the 31-yard line, quick snap, and Young's going to keep it, go around the right side, cuts back inside this time, brought down by Newsom, but picks up 6 yards. So the Bulldogs, a couple big plays in a row, Brad. 25 seconds. We'll see if they run another play here in the 3rd quarter. They don't have to if they don't want to. There's 30 on the play clock, 20 on the game clock. And the way Young's moving there, he's going to want to get another play off here. 12 seconds left, 10 now. Down to 5. They're going to.
He's not going to do it.
They're going to let it go into the 3rd quarter. So we are going to. It's 14-7, Brad, at the end of the 3rd quarter. This is a tight ball game. I think we all kind of expected a battle tonight, and that's what we've got. So we're going to hear from our sponsor here one more time, and we'll be back for 4th quarter action. Vikings lead 14-7 here on BMG Media. All right, welcome back to BMG Media's coverage of Vinton County Vikings football. Nathan Lamb alongside Brad Rose.
In the 4th quarter.
We start the 4th quarter. The Bulldogs moving the ball pretty well. They were pinned deep there late in that 3rd quarter. They got the ball out to the 37-yard line. It's a 2nd down and 4. And going deep over the middle. A miss throw there as Woltz was on the coverage. Sutton really threw behind Sutton. Neither player kind of noticed it either.
No, I don't think they expected to be that quickly because Hunter Hoyt shoved the center clear back into the quarterback and blew the play up. I don't think he intended on throwing it that quickly.
So the first play of the 4th quarter is an incomplete pass. It's now 3rd down and 4 from the 37. Young keeps it himself, runs up the middle, across the 40 to the 42. He's going to be right there. And I believe he's going to have it. And they do signal first down. So they pick up another first down on this drive. Brad, they're at the 42.
This is a big drive right here.
Absolutely, and it's time to pay attention to the clock.
Yeah.
The Bulldogs made it into the red zone on their last offensive possession, but failed to score. They fumbled the football on a 3rd down and 3. The Vikings got it back, but the Bulldogs again in the second half, it's kind of like the Bulldogs have been kind of controlling this one. And there's a pass over to the flat, incomplete through the hands of Sutton.
Young's pass intended for Sutton.
Embry on the coverage and Hayburn there. So it'll be 2nd down and 10.
Makes it 2nd and 10.
In the Vikings defense playing well, Brad. They haven't given up a point tonight. The only score for the Bulldogs on that kickoff return for a touchdown. So it's 7 straight quarters, scoreless quarters for the Vikings defense as Lester's trying to get Pero. He gets the corner, but tripped up by number 11, Madison.
When did they give up the score in Trimble?
Tackle was made by
I believe that was the 3rd quarter, so it would be 8 scoreless quarters at this point, going for 9
Not a bad run
for the Vikings defense if they can hold the Bulldogs out of the end zone here in the remainder of this game with 10:55 to go, the clock rolling. Huge 3rd down and 4 here for the Bulldogs. Young with 4 wide receivers. Pero next to him. Hand off to Pero. Pero's got some space. He's across the 50, across the 45, still churning those legs, across the 40, still going.
My goodness.
And finally pushed back. He got down to the 37-yard line. What a run by Alex Pero.
Tackle was made by
Coming up clutch for his team.
For another Bulldog 1st down.
And again, you look at these two teams, Brad. The Vikings have played a fairly tough schedule. They played Unioto in week 1. Probably could have come out on the winning side of that one, but 5 turnovers. Trimble, Perino, Power. They played a Division III Circleville before starting league play last week. The Bulldogs, as the handoffs to Pero, and not going anywhere this time. He gets swallowed up and landed on by the big guys.
Yeah, that's somebody you don't want to have bearing down on you.
What do you think it feels like? What do you think it feels like when Hunter Hoyt's laying on top of you? Not just laying on you, but fell on you.
I'd say it doesn't feel pleasant.
Right. So, but you look at the Bulldogs' schedule, Brad. They're 1-3, but they've played Galplis, they've played Marietta, they've played Philo, they've played some pretty good teams.
Tough schedule.
And they took their frustrations out last week on Alexander. There was a fake crisscross play going over the middle. And it's caught for the score. 37 yards. Young strikes Martin on the reception, and the Bulldogs are a point away with 9:45 left in the 4th quarter of tying this ball game up, Brad.
Big extra point. Momentum is definitely switched.
Absolutely.
Mikowski holding. Osarius kicking.
Snap is low and blocked. So, Brad, we finally come out ahead on a 1-point situation late in a football game.
Wow.
How does that feel? You haven't felt that in years.
No, it feels great. We're always on that opposite end of that.
Not saying that's going to be the defining factor of the game, Brad, but there's still 9 minutes left. But it's got to feel good to still be up by 1 point, because it doesn't matter, Brad, if you win by 100 or you win by 1.
Yes, it's still a win.
It's still a win.
What was great about that, it wasn't a missed extra point. Those boys come through and blocked that. So
that was a great job by the Vikings special team. So the Bulldogs with a big special team play early in the game to give themselves a score. The Vikings, big special teams play to keep the lead late in the 4th quarter, midway through the 4th quarter. 9:45 left, 14-13. The Vikings nursing a 1-point lead.
A nice sustained drive, and I know people probably hear me say it every week.
That's what you want.
Nice sustained drive.
That's
what we want.
That's exactly what you want.
Osarius is to kick for Athens. Embry, Hayburn back for the Vikes.
So we'll see what the Bulldogs do if they try to kick it deep or just kick it into the center of the field. And they kick it in the center. It's picked up at the 23. Embry's got the speed. Can he get the corner? Nice
got a
block.
couple blocks. There it is.
He's down across the 40, 45, 50, and horse collar tackled out of bounds.
No flag?
No flag right in front of the referee.
Wow.
That would have been 15 extra yards, but not called. But what a return. What a return by Mr. Hembry.
The crowd is fired up on that one.
Tackled out of bounds at the Bulldog 47-yard line.
So the Vikings with a big return on their side of the field.
Vinton County.
They will have it.
Down. 1st and 10 from the Bulldog 47-yard line.
So we'll see if the Vikings can cash in.
I said sustained drive. I don't care. It could be quick now.
And there's a handoff to Brown. Brown ahead across the 40, still churning.
There we go.
Down to the 35-yard line, and he'll pick up a first down.
The big guy's eating.
Tackle was made eventually by Isaiah Roberts. Yardage enough for another Viking. First down.
The 1st and 10 from the 35. Vikings up by 1.
From Athens, 35-yard line.
They're holding on to a 1-point lead. Sean Bourne in the backfield. Brown next to him. Vikings with 2 wide receivers to the far side, Hembry and Moeller. Sean Bourne takes the snap, hands to Brown. Brown sidesteps, pushes ahead, picks up 3 yards. And we tackled at the 32.
Tackle was made by Seth Hart. Gain of 3 on the play. Makes it 2nd down, 7 on the 31-yard line.
Empty backfield.
Sean Bourne with the 3 wideouts to the left side. We'll see if he takes it himself. Snap is back. It's going to be that counter play.
There it is.
And Habern across the 25. Down to the 20, pushing ahead to the 19, and he'll be tackled there at the 19-yard line. With 8:14 left, clock continuing to run once the chains are set. And the Vikings are on the move, Brad. Momentum starting to come back. After that blocked extra point, Brad, it just kind of flipped again, didn't it?
Flipped right back.
So the Vikings inside the red zone for the 3rd time tonight. We'll see if they can score their 3rd touchdown tonight.
13-yard gain.
As we're nearing the 8-minute mark in the 4th quarter, the Vikings and Bulldogs 1-0 in TBC Ohio play. The winner emerges ahead as a first-place team after tonight because the Nelsonville York Buckeyes were in non-conference play this week. Sean Bourne hands to Hembry. Hembry, nothing doing there. He gets met and stopped at the 20. He's going to lose a half a yard.
On board, hands off to
And it'll be 2nd down.
Loss of a yard on the play.
And 11 for the Vikings. Again, Brad, the Vikings need to get near the 10 to have a chance to kick a field goal.
2nd down, 12.
Not that a field goal does a whole lot for you at this point late in the game, but it would put you 4 points up.
It would, and we know that Athens has a pretty good field goal kicker, so it kind of takes that out of the equation for them.
Sean Bourne in the backfield, Brown next to him, 2 wide receivers to the far side. 7:05 to go in this ball game. Vikings up by 1. Hand off to Brown. Brown met at the line, pushes ahead near the 15. They'll spot him at the 16-yard line, and it'll be a big 3rd down
Jackson Moore.
for the Vikings.
Take up a 4 on the play, makes 3rd down, 8.
This play is pretty important here.
Very important. See if the Vikings put it in the air here, Brad, or do you go on the ground twice in a row?
I mean, if you know you plan on going for it 4th down and not kicking, I think you keep it on the ground here.
Sean Bourne in the backfield. Handoff. Habern. Habern across the 15. Cuts to the left, across the 10.
Goody.
5, down to the 3. And the Vikings pick up a 1st down, and they're inside the 5. And it'll be 1st and goal with 6 minutes and 9 seconds left in the ball game. Vikings up by 1, trying to go ahead.
Feels good. Feels good.
Makes the 1st and goal from the 2-yard line.
Clock continuing to roll. Under 6 minutes now, 14-13. Vikings lead. Ball at the 2. High formation for the Vikings. I think it's a little too close for Sean Bourne to sneak, but he may do it.
It's all Habron.
And he drops the snap, but he picks it right back up, and he goes ahead. And they're going to say touchdown. They're going to call the touchdown on the rebound, Brad. Parker Schonborn drops the snap, picks it up, falls ahead, and gets into the end zone for the score. And the Vikings are now up 20-13 with 5:36 left in the ball game.
That's been the difference in the team this year is some of those breaks have kind of went our way this year, and in years past, it just seems like we're always on the bad side of those.
So, Brad, this kick right here is huge. It'll put the Vikings up by 8 if they can make it and force Athens to not only score a touchdown, but get the 2 points instead of the extra point. Good snap. Hold is good. The kick is up, and it's good.
Yes.
The Vikings lead 21-13. They have an 8-point lead with 5:36 left in the ball game, and all the pressure now on that Bulldogs offense. So, Brad, now that we've got a moment here, I just want to wish the Norse family well, Brad. Obviously, if you watch BMG Media, we have a couple sister stations. We have one at Oak Hill and one at Wellston. And Bub and his brother, so Bill and Bub do the calls at Wellston. And their mother, Emma Norse, passed away a couple days ago, Brad. And we just wanted to give a shout out to the Norse family and let them know that we're thinking about them up here in Vinton County.
Yes.
And we wish them, all the best thoughts in the world as they lay their mother to rest this week. So we just want to take some time and
they're definitely in Vikings fans' prayers this week.
And if you watched the game last week on BMG down at Wellston, they had a couple substitutes down there as Emma was not doing very well at the time, and Wellston's on the road tonight and winning against Alexander. So hopefully they pick that one up for Emma tonight. So we just wanted to give a shout out to the Norse family and let them know we're thinking about them as the Vikings just recover.
There we go.
Wow, talk about who was it for the Reds that always hit a home run in inopportune times when you're trying to be serious on a broadcast? Was it Castellanos? That's who it was. So we just pulled Nick Castellanos. But again,
what we got going on here?
We're talking about it. But to wrap that up, we just want to wish everybody down there in Wellston the best going forward. So,
giving it to Athens. That was big.
So they're gonna. Is that an illegal touch or?
I don't know how it would be. Did it go?
Well, it hit the Bulldog player first.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
did it go 10 yards? They're going to go back and look at this again. Did it go the 10 yards? It did, didn't it?
It went 15 yards.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So I don't know what the issue is here.
That would have went 20 yards, Brad. So that was definitely past the 10-yard mark.
I mean, this could be a difference maker right here for both teams.
Yeah, 5:34 to go. The Vikings up by 8, 21-13. They're still talking about this now. We'll see if...
Yeah, it's good field position for the Bulldogs if they get the ball, and this could be game over if Vinton County can run out a couple of first downs here. Obviously, they're not going to...
And they're going to give it back to the Vikings. The Vikings recovered the ball. They discussed it. They made the right call.
I wonder what the discrepancy was there. What was the conversation about? It's obvious, like you said, it went full 20 yards. Was touched by a Bulldog player.
We'll take it. Crowd's alive now, Brad. They can feel it. 21-13, 5:34 to go. The Vikings can put the Bulldogs away on this drive. And they'll start at the 45.
Well, we were concerned about the special teams touchdown there early, and now the special teams for us has come up with 2 big plays, really 3 big plays. Hembry on the big return. Special teams shining in this, both sides of the ball.
Sean Bourne in the backfield. Brown next to him, 2 wide receivers to the far side. The handoff to Brown. Brown around the right side. Squirts ahead near the 40-yard line, and we brought down there First down. Picks up 5 yards on first down. It'll be 2nd and 5. And, Brad, we've got a lot of people watching from various places. But we're being watched from a campsite down by the river.
Hey.
By my buddy and friend, Aaron McDonald. He wanted me to give him a shout out. So
Well, good to hear
it's a
from
pretty
Aaron.
cool setup.
Yeah, it's a beautiful setup.
Nice.
That's where I'd like to be if I wasn't here right now on top of the booth.
We've got the best seat in the house, Brad.
We do. It's hard to argue.
2nd down and 5 for the Vikings. High snap. Parker's going to keep it himself, and he gets back to the line of scrimmage before being hit and brought down by Hart.
Seth Hart on the tackle, no gain.
Clock's going to roll. It's 3rd down and 6. 4:33 to go, Brad. Do the Vikings dare go to the air here?
3rd down, 6.
I can't see it.
Again, at this part of the field, normally this could be two plays here. I just don't think so here in this situation with.
Nah. And I believe we run the ball. We don't want to take a chance of an incomplete pass and killing the clock here. So. Schonborn bleeding the clock down.
There's a handoff to Brown. Slips 1 tackle.
There you
Slips
go.
2 tackles.
There you
Slips
go.
3 tackles. And he falls ahead across the 30-yard line, and the Vikings pick up a huge 3rd down.
Thought he was going to get that big run I've been talking about here the last couple games.
Just got tripped up. 3:56 left. 21-13, the Vikings lead. Clock's rolling. As the Vikings are inside the 30 at the 27-yard line. And now they'll take their sweet time.
28-yard line.
Again, we talked about this game coming in, going to be a battle. Bulldogs,
On the clock.
could argue, had the better non-conference schedule to date. Both teams blew out their Week 1 opponents in the TVC Ohio. And it was everything we expected tonight. Schonborn in the backfield, feeding Brown. No, he keeps it himself. And he's going to outrun the defense, but there's going to be a
Hold
flag.
again.
As Schonborn was down at the 12-yard line, and there's going to be another hold against the Vikings. Brad, if there's one thing that you could say the Vikings have not done very well tonight is penalties.
Yeah, and it's been on all the quarterback runs, really. I don't know what we got going on there.
So even if there's a victory here for the Vikings, there's a lot of work to be done if they want to claim that first TVC Ohio championship since 1999, Brad.
Yeah, we're going to have to clean up the penalties.
You were a young man in 1999.
I was younger. I don't think I was a young man. You might have been a young man at that
I was an adolescent.
time. You were.
3:17 left to play.
Been too long.
First down,
Basically what I'm saying. It's been too
It
long.
has been. Nearly a quarter of a century.
Athens, 37-yard line.
3:13 to go, clock rolling. 18 seconds left on the play clock as the Vikings are in the huddle. First down and 19. Ball's at the 37-yard line. 2:58 to go.
Still going to see a heavy dose of the run.
Let's see if Athens starts to call some timeouts. And they're going to pass it, Brad.
I'm
Parker
completely
throws
wrong.
deep.
Come on.
Hembry.
Come on, Hembry.
He's got it! And he's down at the 2-yard line. Matt Hembry, you talk about some,
Yeah.
wow!
Yeah.
You throw that?
Coach pulled that trick out of his hat. I didn't expect it. I thought we were still going to see a heavy dose of the run. 4 more runs.
No trestle ball tonight,
No,
Brad.
no. Pulling out all the stops.
The Vikings went for the dagger, and they may have gotten it.
Really impressed with the play calling tonight, man. You couldn't call much better of a game as far as offense. Really impressed.
Clock rolling, 2:35. Vikings up by 8, looking to seal the deal. I formation. Parker, will he sneak it yet again? He does. He rolls.
Spin.
And he's
Got
into the
it.
end zone. Touchdown! Parker Schonborn and the Vikings. It's smelling like a victory, Brad.
I feel pretty confident now, Nathan.
27-13 is your score with triple twos on the clock.
Wow.
Oh, Brad, we had a firework explode really low to the ground.
Yeah, we got
On the hillside.
might have a few fires over there now.
That was a bad situation there for a minute. We didn't get that on the camera, but or maybe we did. I'm not sure. All right, here we go. The extra point. Snap. Lester's holds down. The kick is up, and
Good.
Mr. Cooper Hayburn is a perfect 4 for 4 tonight. Boy, did we miss him last week?
We did. We missed him tremendously. Been a difference maker. This special teams has been a difference maker all game.
Well, you could say for both teams.
It
has.
Yeah.
All right, so the Vikings pull ahead 28-13 with 2:22 to go. Now it's going to take nothing short of a miracle for the Bulldogs to claw their way back into this ball game. With hardly any time left, they do have their timeouts remaining, and we've seen a kick return for a touchdown tonight, Brad, and it would be an inopportune time for another.
A kick return here and your 3 timeout. I mean, you get a touchdown here, you get 3 timeouts. You still got a chance at this ball game.
What an exciting game tonight. Week 2 in the TBC Ohio. The Vikings trying to go to 2-0 league play. I think regardless, Brad, though, the Bulldogs have really made a statement for themselves in terms of TBC Ohio play. You better be ready to play the Bulldogs.
Absolutely.
Storm's going to kick this one off, see if he squibs it. And he kicks it deep. And
chance of the return.
Martin's got it. Martin's going to take it up across the 25 to the 30. Makes a spin move. Braxton Miller-esque. He's across the 35-40 and brought down hard by Nash Yates with the tackle. So the Bulldogs are set up pretty well. 41-yard line. 2:13 to go. Yates with a big tackle on special teams.
Needed it. He could have broke that and been quite a ways down the field before anybody caught him.
They're going to spot at the 43. 2:13 to go, fourth quarter.
On their 43-yard line.
For Vinton County High School, BMG Media's coverage of Viking football. 2 home games this year and 2 pretty exciting ones, Brad.
They have been so far.
Back to pass, throwing.
There it is.
Intercepted by Hunter Milliken, and he's going to have a chance.
Can the defense get another one?
He's across the 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, touchdown, Milliken!
Woo!
And that's going to do it. That's going to do it, Brad. The Vikings, in what has been a tight ball game over the last few minutes, have exploded.
Wow. The defense doing it again, scoring another one of those touchdowns for us.
Hunter Milliken with the pick 6. It was about 55 yards, Brad, on that return.
I'm sure he's feeling great about it. He kind of beat himself up earlier there where they scored a touchdown, on him, but he's certainly made up for it with that one.
So Hayburn going to try to go 5 for 5. The school record 7 extra points in a game by Eli Downs, set in 2017. And the snap's good. The kick's back. Kick is up, and the kick is inside the pole.
Good deal.
5 for 5 on extra points for Cooper Hayburn tonight. The Vikings have done a lot of things right in this fourth quarter, Brad.
Well, and here's the thing. People outside of being here at the game are following it. They're going to look at this score and think it's not indicative of what the game was.
Absolutely not. This was a battle to the end.
It was. Absolutely was. Similar to the Trimble game. That game was closer than what the actual score was. But, man, defense coming up big again.
Huge. The Vikings up 35-19, just like that, late in the ball game. An update from Nelsonville, York. The Wellston Rockets. They're going to pick up that win tonight, Brad. They're up 28-0.
Congrats to them.
Against the Spartans. That's going to be win number 2. You talk about a program that was down in the dumps last year at 0-10. Really took their medicine last year. It's paying off this year with 2 wins already in this season as we're at the halfway point. And I think 2 more possible wins on the horizon at least.
They'll be competitive in both those games.
So there's a squib kick by Storm down to the 32. The ball is going to be picked up there by the Bulldogs. And they'll start this drive, Brad. Now it's
Alex Piro gets the ball following the kickoff.
It was going to take a miracle before. Now it's going to take
several miracles.
It's
not going to happen, but
Jackson leads Ross 38-7.
Athens ball.
Meg's all over River Valley 40-6. Circleville still leading Amanda Clear Creek. We need the Tigers to pick up a win 7-3.
That'd be great. Big boost for us.
And there's a keeper straight up the gut and hit by Newsom. Young picks up about 5 yards on the play. What could be the TBC Hawking Championship? Eastern and Waterford. Eastern leads 21-20 in the fourth quarter. Not saying anything negative against Trimble because I believe Trimble can absolutely beat either one of those teams, but it's a big early matchup in the TBC Hawking. Adina comes back and is on top of Southeastern 30-23, Brad. As Young throws deep. And it's going to be intercepted. Madison's got it. He's across the 40.
Come on, Brandon.
And he's tackled at the 44-yard line, and that's going to do it, Brad. 1:17 left. The Vikings with another turnover. And we're going to take a few kneel downs here, and we're going to hit the road, Brad, back home.
This fourth quarter, the last half of this fourth quarter has been a blur.
In the SVC, Unioto leads Huntington at the half, 43-0. Fairfield Union getting beat by Logan Elm, 41-14 in the NVL. Brad, in the new Twin State League, Warren and Fort Fry in the fourth quarter are tied at 7. How about that?
Fort Fry is pretty tough.
Philo and West Muskingum, the Tornadoes are up on the Electrics 14-0 in the fourth quarter. Trimble now leads 15-0 over Woodward. That's another points game for the Vikings if the Tomcats can hold on, as the Vikings going to run out the clock here. What are they doing? They're going to pass. And Parker throws it away.
Gets it out of it. Good choice, Parker.
Zane Trace leads Piketon 21-12 in the third quarter.
We call him a timeout?
Sean Gordon's pass.
I'm not sure why they would call a timeout. The clock would have stopped on the incomplete pass with 1 minute and 3 seconds left.
Maybe he's going to get his JV in there. Yeah. It's like Jace Moore there ready to go in. Maybe.
So South Gaia leads Oak Hill 26-0. Gaia leads Portsmouth at the half 36-12. No real upsets tonight, Brad, in terms of
been pretty chalky, huh?
Southeast Ohio high school football. Miller 16, Byrne Union 13. That's in the fourth quarter. It's a close ball game there.
Somebody just got a Gatorade bath. I only saw the tail end of it. Looks like Milliken had it in the air. I assume Coach got it. Yeah, Coach looks a little wet.
Yes, that's got to feel good on this crisp fall evening. Minute and 3 seconds left. The Vikings got their subs in.
A few too many on the field.
You'll have that at this point. So there's a handoff and a flag immediately.
Moore's handoff goes to.
So Jace Moore at quarterback. Zaney in there at running back. He punched one in late.
He did. He looked good running the ball late
last week against Meigs. This second team unit scored twice.
Yeah, twice
in the Meigs game last week. So
Third down, 10.
pretty good sign. I know the JV teams had some pretty good success this season so far. Had a couple games now where they've seen the field on Friday nights. It's always a good thing to get them out there in the big crowd.
If I'm not mistaken, there might be a freshman game in the morning.
Really?
I thought I saw that somewhere. I probably should have really researched that before I said anything, but I'm thinking there is.
Play clock's going to go down to 0, and they're going to call the delay of game.
Flag on the play, delay of game.
Boy, they gave him an extra 2 seconds, Brad, but
they tried.
15.
They were going to let them play it if they got it off a little quicker, but
I'm sure they just want to roll it and go.
Yeah, so now the clock's going to roll. We'll see if the Vikings take another snap here. Again, this is the second teamers out there. Score 35-13. The Vikings with 20 seconds left. They're going to find themselves up 2-0 in the TBC Ohio and move to 4-1. 4 straight wins for the Vikings. The wide receivers are ready to play. They want to take the snap.
Go. Get it snapped, they say. They're ready.
And that's going to do it. That's going to be the end of the game here. So we've got 3 seconds left. And that's it. Zeros on the clock, Brad. The Vikings hold off the strong effort from the Bulldogs. They pull away at the end, and they win this one 35-13.
A big win for the Vikings there, but again, score not indicative of what the game actually was until late.
So the Athens Bulldogs will drop to 1-4 on the season. Again, they picked up that big win last week against Alexander, 55-7. They will travel to Logan next week, and they'll be the non-league, non-conference game of the week. Will be the Athens Bulldogs next week, and hopefully they can pick up a win up in Logan. Then they will host Meigs before traveling to Wellston, River Valley, and then back home against Nelsonville York in what could be a really exciting Week 10 matchup. I see a lot of potential wins there for the Athens Bulldogs moving forward. So,
is the victory bell going to ring today?
You can't hear it, Brad. You can't hear nothing.
Oh, that's quite the display. And I think we're actually showing it to the stream.
Yes, yes, we are.
A lot of low-lying stuff going on
that
up
one
there.
didn't get very high either. Oh, no, watch out.
Run.
They better get out of there.
Wow.
There's a car there, too, Brad. The fire department was here. They're still over there.
Yeah, they're not going very far.
We're okay. Let's hope nobody got hit with one of those fireballs.
A couple of fires going on up there a little bit.
All right, so looking ahead for the Vikings, they pick up the big win tonight. That's 4 straight for the Vinton County Vikings. They play next week at Alexander, and they're still going off, Brad. Wow. Okay, I think that was it. Travel to Alexander next week. That's going to be Alexander's first actual home game of the year. They've been playing on the road because of the new sod that they had put down late in the summer. We had that long drought in the summer with no rain. Really hurt them in their sodding efforts this summer. So we'll be over at Alex next week, and then we have Northwest at home, River Valley at home. We travel to Nelsonville York in what could potentially be, and it looks like it's lining up to be for the TVC Ohio Championship in Week 9, and then we return home in Week 10 against the rival Wellston for the last game of the regular season. So the Vikings win 4 straight games, Brad. They're 4-1 on the season. It really stinks that Week 1 game was a loss because you feel like we outgained Unioto, we outplayed, quite frankly, Unioto, and we just came up short on the scoreboard. So
3 big mistakes, and all 3 ended up in touchdown drives for them.
Right, but you look at the season so far, 4-1. The Vikings really in a good spot right now in terms of not only the TVC Ohio, but they got a chance to win out. If they can go 9-1, they got a real legit shot to be playing here in Week 11.
Yeah, that would be great. I think right now it's like a 48% chance to host Week 1, 2% chance to host, if you win out, to host 2 games. So it's still, you never know how it falls.
We'll see what happens around the region, and that's something we'll pay a little closer attention to during the broadcast as we move forward in the season. Other Division 4, Region 15 matchups of teams that may be ahead of the Vikings in terms of the point standings. We'll keep an eye on that. But what a finish to this ball game, Brad. You talked about the first half. The Vikings really controlled the game. They had the momentum. It felt like it was almost all Vinton County minus that big return. And then the third quarter came. In the third quarter and into the fourth quarter, it was like everything flipped. And Athens was in control. And Athens could move the ball. And Athens scored the ball. And it was a one-point ball game with an extra point attempt. But then that extra point got blocked by the Vikings, and it was almost like that was it. That was it. That's all it took. And after that blocked extra point, it was absolutely Vinton County the rest of the way out.
Yeah, it flipped right back so quick. It was unexpected. It's something that a lot of times on special teams over the last few years, we've not had those things go in our favor. And things are starting to kind of, you're seeing the trend of things kind of going in our favor a little bit more now, getting the ball to bounce our way. And special teams things going our way. So, I mean, this team is starting to click. The offense is looking pretty wide. They're really blending, the run game and getting the quarterback involved, and some of the pass plays now, and we're starting to kind of throw it over the top a little bit more than we have in the past. And the defense has been just spectacular the last 2 seasons, and they haven't changed. They haven't missed a beat. And special teams now, we've got that field control back like we had last year, and we're really starting to see the leg of Cooper Hayburn right there flip the field for us and do something that we haven't had early in the season. So all 3 facets of the ball game are starting to work pretty well.
And minus a couple turnovers in tonight's game, the Vikings were able to get those back in the fourth quarter tonight, and one on an Athens drive inside the red zone, which really helped the Vikings keep them out of the end zone on that drive and get that momentum back. But all in all, great game by the Vikings, especially in the second half, fourth quarter, down to the wire time. They really stepped up and showed out tonight. So the Vikings pick up their 4th win of the row, 35-13, on to Alexander next week, and that's something that the Vikings are going to be heavily favored in that game next week, because the Bulldogs, the team they just beat, really handled business against Alexander last week. How important is it to not have a letdown, Brad? Because this high school football, these are high school kids. They can come in and just automatically, I think, they step off the bus and are going to win the ball game. But how important is it to have a good week of practice and be prepared?
It's paramount, and I'm sure Coach isn't going to let that slip. I really thought this was a trap game this week. I thought Athens was a lot better than what their record had shown. And obviously you saw it there for 3 quarters. We just kind of had some things bounce our way there late, which we haven't had in games past. Yeah, anybody can get beat on any Friday night. In theory, we are the favorites coming in, to going into Albany next week. And we should be just fine come Friday night.
All right, so the Vikings are going to be looking for 5 wins in a row, Brad. And let me ask you this, Brad. Trivia question here, Brad. When was the last time the Vikings won 5 straight games?
Wow. Was it during the Downs era? Was there a point in there that we won 5 late in the season? No. Earlier than that? It wasn't back in the, what was it, 04, 06?
No.
Earlier?
Yes.
99.
The last time the Vikings won 5 straight games was in 1999 when they won the TVC Ohio the last time.
Prophetic.
So we'll see if the stars can align, Brad. We've got a long second half of the season coming up, but I think the Vikings are in position. They've put themselves in position to try to break the curse and get that title back to MacArthur for the first time in a long time. So the Vikings win 35-13. We're going to go ahead and end the broadcast here, Brad. What a great night. What a fun night this was. Anytime you come out with a victory, it's fun. But entertaining game all around.
It was. And we talked about the half. Just to have that excitement of the back and forth was what we were looking for there in the fourth quarter. And that was a great game to call. Great game by both sides. Nothing taken away from Athens. That was a ball game up till the last 8 minutes.
Yeah, we were going to wait on Coach, but he's still down on the field. Still got to do a couple interviews down there. So we'll go ahead and wrap it up. 35-13, the Vikings beat the Bulldogs at home. And we'll be back in 2 weeks. The Vikings again on the road next week against Alexander. We'll be back the following week for the first ever game against the Northwest Mohawks here at home. So we'll look forward to that game. Hopefully the Vikings can come back with a win next week, and we'll be looking at 6 straight if we can beat the Mohawks. So for Brad Rose, I'm Nathan Lamb. This has been BMG Media's live coverage of Vinton County Vikings football. One more time, 35-13 the Vikings, 4 straight. We'll see you in a couple weeks.
Go Vikes.